beautiful street art. Does street photography belong on the street, or does it belong in a gallery? I'm using the Ricoh GR3 here in the morning. GR3, GoPro Mini, 1080p, 30 FPS, exported to 720p for that crispy HD, small file size quality. And today we're gonna do some ASMR along the riverside. Boop. And so I had some thoughts about focal length, right? I have the GR3 attached on a wrist strap. The mind-body connection, right? Consider the camera as a kendama. I feel as though these basic notions about focal length choice, which focal length to use, yeah, they become really basic, boring, and yeah, I kind of want to give my thoughts about this topic because, you know, when it comes to getting better at photography, improving incrementally over time, it's best and wise to set limitations, right? So choose one focal length, one camera, one lens. This thing is a tried and true approach. Very basic idea, but I believe is a good one. These trains are incredibly big and a nice canvas for street art. Wow, this is beautiful. I love the color of these sort of graffiti pieces along the train cars. But yeah, I think actually setting this limitation, sticking to one focal length, using it for a year, if you're getting started with street photography, is very wise. The more that you're fumbling around with camera settings and which focal length to use, consider yourself carrying a bag, right? And oh, I want to change my lens at this moment. It's not a good idea. You really want to hone in and achieve a sense of flow state. And in order to achieve the flow state, right, think Bruce Lee, be like water, my friend. Yeah, you want to really hone in on one specific focal length. Now, why I believe this is critical is because oftentimes we get caught up in this idea that the focal length you choose will influence the way that you photograph. However, the reason I think this is a silly idea is because you're not walking around the world, right, with your camera to your eye, looking through this perceived focal length, through the camera, through the lens, right? You are merely raising the camera, pressing the shutter at that moment in time when something appears in front of you, right? You're looking at the life in front of you and reacting with your intuition and your sort of instinctual sort of gut feeling to then press the shutter based upon the relationship and the distance between you and that said moment in front of you. So consider the focal length choice unimportant, but the connection to the camera and the focal length the deeming factor worth considering, because you'll get caught up like, oh, I wish I had a 28, or because I have the 28 with me today, oh, I wish I had the 40 so that I could get this you know, thing a little bit more cropped in and closer, or, you know, I wish I had this focal length because of the, you know, the sort of chaos of the crowd, and it's so jam-packed. I really wish I had my like ultra wide lens on, or my, you know, 28mm lens on rather than the 50mm lens on. And actually it has nothing to do with photography. These are all like technical, boring things to even consider, where you really need to hone in on the relationship between you and the life in front of you, and where you position yourself, your perspective, your point of view. It has nothing to do with the number. It has nothing to do with the settings and the focal length and the gear. It has everything to do with the connection between you and the life in front of you and the camera itself, right? So there's this sort of dynamic here to consider. It has nothing to do with, you know, technicalities and, you know, whether the photo is flat or distorted, or, you know, is it a bustling crowd, or am I in a remote location, right? The focal length choice, it really, truly doesn't matter. Just either step a little bit closer or step a little bit back. The number doesn't matter. And yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I mean, it's a basic, boring topic, but I really just wanted to get that out of the way because it's one of those things I think really would help a beginner. Set limitations, just use one. Stop kidding yourself that you think you need to switch lenses and experiment super early on. The best way to learn actually is to set that limitation. So yeah, photography, and some thoughts. Yeah, I really think about this idea too of like the perspective, the point of view, right? Using a GoPro with the super view. It's interesting, right? You have this sort of very immersive POV. And perhaps the goal of an artist itself is to actually present your point of view, present your perspective on the world. So maybe this is like the ultimate way to do so, where, you know, speaking candidly to the camera, or, you know, filming yourself in the morning, doing whatever, is your unique perspective, sort of inherently within this sort of idea of yeah, just sharing your POV through the camera itself. It's very interesting to me. I like the chest strap from GoPro. I also have a snap mount, which is a magnet clip that you can snap on to your shirt. But yeah, I think of this idea, right? Sharing your perspective, sharing your point of view. And also, maybe everyone's born an artist, right? We're all sort of born artists, and then we're kind of programmed otherwise through societal pressures or influences in the sort of external world around us. However, we all have this sort of inner childlike desire to return to the childlike state, where we want to play, we want to have fun, we want to spread joy and love and sort of be careless a little bit. And I find tapping into that to be a liberating and freeing feeling, where yesterday I was walking through the Christmas village, and the lady that's sort of asking for donations, I don't know the specific thing that they're doing, like just donations, whatever, for Christmas. And they have like the bell, and they're always ringing a bell, spreading joy in the tunnels of City Hall. And she's always there just with a smile on her face, having fun. I went up to her, I was like, can I ring the bell? Like, I want to ring the bell. And I just start cheering and ringing the bell with the girl. And I think actually to play more is a wise approach, where, you know, not taking yourself so seriously, you know, not complaining, you know, just sort of having fun with whatever comes your way is perhaps a good approach to life generally, not even considering photography. However, in terms of photography and relating this to photography, right, maybe it's best to just be as open as possible, right? Where you're not limiting yourself in terms of lighting conditions, or limiting yourself in terms of times of day to photograph. So in terms of limitations, yeah, I think focal length is a wise one. However, time of day is ill-advised, right? So you want to actually be more open to all sorts of conditions, all sorts of lighting, you know, whether it's golden hour or foggy and gloomy. Look, all light is good light, right? There's no such thing as bad light. However, maybe some ideas with bad light being nighttime. It could be interesting, right? Shooting at night. My problem with shooting at night is then it influences your sleep patterns. It's more just, I don't know. I just don't like going out at night. I think the more that, yeah, I consider photographing at night, the more I'm less interested. Like, if anything, I'd rather actually shoot in the early morning, waking up around 4 a.m. and photographing in that condition, where, I mean, it's still technically night, it's dark. And yeah, maybe that's my, yeah, I'm just fleshing this out right now. Maybe that's a better idea for me. I can shoot when it's dark early in the morning and sort of desolate. I think better, yeah, that would be much more wise approach than late nights. Yeah, because I went out late night recently and I was photographing, you know, the sort of chaos of a Saturday night in the city around the bars and stuff. And I think actually, you know, it's just not wise. It's not wise to go out at night. Just go to bed. Just when the sun sets, go to bed. Just go to sleep. Go inside. Yeah, it's not wise. Thinking of people outdoors at night in the bars, sort of like ghouls and goblins in these sort of dark caves. And yeah, I don't want to be surrounded by ghouls and goblins. Yeah, I want to be out in the sun. I want to be outside in the fresh air, you know, with yeah, any confined space, I think, is just like it's just a bad place to be, especially at night. Yeah, sleep is critical. Physiology is king, right? To put your physiology first and foremost, I think, is actually so wise, where even after that night where I slept a little bit poorly because I was out later, it really does stunt an entire day. It takes you like even if you don't take a drop of alcohol or do anything, just staying up late in those situations, it's so bad for you. Like, I don't know how anybody drinks alcohol or stays up late, because it takes like 1 or 2 days to get back onto yeah, your normal sort of programming. And yeah, just considering circadian rhythm, right? Rise with the sun, sort of get more sun exposure. Yeah, these things I've been finding insanely valuable, where yeah, I go to bed at 8 p.m, wake up at 4:35, and then I'm good to go. And it's like your natural sort of clock is set, and yeah, you can create more. It's like, how much can you create before 9 a.m? Some fun ideas: GoPro your morning routine, POV, use ChatGPT, visualize things, create art, learn, cull through photos, remix photos using Procreate, calligraphy drawings using the ZenBrush app, and yeah, make new photos. Like now I'm on the street making new photos and also vlogging my thoughts, write blog posts, use the voice dictation tool on the iPad, and yeah, just think and walk, and I think ultimately see how much you can create in the early morning, where perhaps this is actually the best time to make things and think. And I like the challenge. I think a good challenge is a good. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, man?
All right.
Yeah, I love the foggy days.
Yeah, I like it.
It's perfect. Yeah, so say hi to strangers more. Greet people warmly. You know, we should greet the people we meet on the street with warmth and kindness, right? The Spartan approach. How to become a Spartan? Pretty simple. Lift heavy. Get 8 to 12 hours of sleep. Get more sunlight. You know, eat more red meat. 100% carnivore diet. No breakfast, no lunch. Just feast on that good red meat, beef or lamb. Yeah, I think the idea is increasing your skeletal muscle mass and decreasing your adipose tissue. So considering the muscle mass that's attached to your bones and losing the fat tissue, your adipose tissue, as the goal. How to achieve this? Feast like an emperor, and eat as much beef as you can before you go to sleep. Yeah, I've never felt better. Extremely satiated and filled with power and vigor every single day. Makes me feel like I can do anything, right? And so yeah, thoughts about pull-ups today. I learned about the eccentric phase and the concentric phase. So eccentric being the time where you're pulling your body downwards. So when you're above the bar, chin above the bar, going down, maybe it's actually a nice idea to sort of go slowly and to really focus in on the movement itself. So the eccentric phase, where you're going downwards, when you're lowering your body, go slow. And when you're rising with the concentric phase, where you're pulling up, try to go slowly as well. And maybe slow pull-ups is a good way to increase your muscle gains, your strength, etc. And yeah, this is actually a good approach with pull-ups. Like, just go slow, sort of maybe even do those, I think they're called isometric holds, where you hold yourself in certain positions of the pull-up itself, and really consider grip strength, right? So like grip strength, excuse me, grip strength is strength, right? So the new theory is that the longer you live is determined by how strong your grip is, right? So farmer's walk, holding 2 heavy dumbbells by your side, pull-ups, anything with a barbell like a deadlift. Sort of really focus on that grip, right? How strong can you make your grip? This is the ultimate determining factor for longevity, where this is the goal, right? Consider longevity as the ultimate goal in life, where we want to live long and healthy. We want to live long, healthy, strong lives, right? I'll die on my own sword, in my own failure. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, maybe longevity ultimately is the goal in terms of health, fitness. So just keeping it simple, right? Find a routine that works for you. Home gyms are the best. I really do just like this notion of pull-ups, push-ups, deadlifts, L-sits, yoga, like simple shit. And it takes me 15 minutes, and I'll do it maybe a couple times a day just to get my body moving and increase my energy throughout the day. But yeah, the theory is grip strength to strength. Also, I've been listening to the audiobook Iliad. It's pretty nice. I think when I walk on the trail and listen to it with my AirPods, or if I ride my bicycle, which I probably will do if it's gonna rain soon. I'd like to get a bike ride in before. So yeah, look at the fog above the skyline, the art museum here. Beautiful, beautiful day. Yeah, it seems to be a great way to read, where I can really imagine things when I'm listening, right? When I'm listening to the narrator, and they're describing this sort of scene and they're talking about things, you can visualize and imagine more than reading the text itself, and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Go for a walk, listen to a book. Yeah, you get 2 things in there at once. So longevity, walking is most critical, right? To just keep yourself in a state of movement, to not be stagnant, don't sit still. Standing all day, sitting down is pretty bad. I don't know if it's just me, but sitting down feels extremely unnatural, and I hate being confined in a car. The tragedy of traffic, just laugh at it. The other day there was a traffic jam. It was kind of funny. I just think it's so interesting, like when you see something that's just like tragic and you just laugh at it. It's like, what can you do, you know? It's like you kind of just gotta laugh at all the ups, all the downs, and just in betweens, and not take things so seriously. So here we are, Schuylkill River, Boathouse Row, beautiful architecture. L plus A equals BFF forever. Let's go. 12:15:23. They fell in love at 2:05. 2:05 p.m. I thought that said AM. I'm like, holy shit. It's warm today. I could have worn my barefoot shoes. How to improve your photography? Just stick to 1 focal length.